Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Athletics franchise here on MLB Show 24 as we continue through the month of August, starting off up north in Canada as the 45 and 73 Athletics travel to the Rogers Center to face the 41 and 76 Toronto Blue Jays. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise mode content. We'll see Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for the Blue Jays. We saw him the last time we played Toronto just a couple weeks ago. He went 7 innings, only gave up 1 earned in that start, so we're hoping we can do a little bit better against him today. But Geloff begins by flying out to begin, and we'll take a look at the Athletics lineup today. Usual guys, we'll see Soderstrom followed by Rosario, Rooker, Allen in the 5-hole today at short, Ruiz in center, Robbie Martin the DH, Ryan Noda, and Jacob Wilson. Geloff playing exceptionally well these past 10 games and 310 in that span. Tyler Soderstrom now next swings through a fastball, and Kikuchi picking up right where he left off on July 31st. Rosario now with a 1-2, gets a fastball, but gets underneath it, flies out to center field, and that'll be a 1-3 inning for Yusei Kikuchi. On the mound for the A's will be J.P. Sears, who desperately needs a good start. You can see the record 3-14. Had a good start last time, but maybe just went a little bit too far as he got into the 8th inning and then kind of got rocked. 2017 World Series MVP George Springer leads off for Toronto, and he'll ground out. We'll take a look at this Blue Jays team that won the American League East last year and has just fallen from grace. Rafael Antigua up next, followed by Danny Jansen, Dalton Varsho, Spencer Horwitz, Edmundo Sosa, Orelvis Martinez, Addison Barger, and Arjuan Namala. This team has talent. Obviously, they lost Vladdy Jr. and Bo Bichette to Cincinnati in free agency, but they still have some pretty decent bats. Lantuigo up next will fly out to center field, and that'll bring up Danny Jansen, who surprisingly stuck with the Blue Jays at the deadline. Well, he'll pop out over to short, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Sears. We'll go all the way to the top of the second here with 2 down, where Ruiz will drill one to deep left field, and that'll clear the tie. A solo home run for Stewie Ruiz, not much known for his power, but he muscles this one out to left field. His 6th home run of the season, and the Athletics are on the board first. They lead 1-0. Bottom 6 now, both pitchers really settling in, including Sears, who strikes out Namala here, his 6th of the day. Bringing it back to George Springer, one of those 6 strikeouts. Got a first pitch to the right fielder, and he'll ground it over to third. And Sears, again, another solid performance. Hopefully he can close it this time. As one more out to get through the 6th than he does. Strikes out Rafael Antigua. Great 6 innings from J.P. Sears here. We go into the top of the 7th now. Chad Green takes the mound for the Blue Jays. Still only a 1-run lead for the Athletics. As Brent Rooker up first will ground this one over short, and he'll beat the throw. So that'll help to begin this inning. 5-hole now, Nick Allen, but going up against a righty right now. But he'll hit this one through the right side of the infield, so it doesn't matter for Nick Allen. Back-to-back base runners off singles here for the Athletics. Nobody down for Ruiz, the guy you want in this situation, and he draws a walk. Stays patient, and now the bases are loaded. Nobody down for Robbie Martin, who's really come around this year, including this at-bat. He flies out to right, but he does tag the runners, so job successful there. It's 2-0 Athletics. Runners down in the corners for Ryan Noda. 2-2 pitch, and he will hit this one through the left side of the infield for a base hit, and it's now 3-0 in favor of the A's, really establishing their lead here. And Chad Green will even make it out of the 7th. Michael Fulmer, the former Boston Red Sox and 2016 AL Rookie of the Year, will be tasked with finishing off this inning. And with 1 down, he gets Wilson to hit to center field deeply, where Ruiz will definitely tag. Also, my apologies, Green only went 1/3 of an inning. Let the record state that. So now runners on the corners with 2 down for Zach Geloff, and he swings and misses. But the A's do get 2 here in the 7th to establish their lead some more. And they'll bring in J.P. Fire Ison, their newest acquisition, one of their newest acquisitions at the deadline from Arizona Diamondbacks, as he begins the 7th by getting Danny Jansen to ground out to Nick Allen. Dalton Varsho now up next with a 1-0, and he'll rip this one into the left center gap, and that's going to be some trouble. Ruiz will get to it after it hits the wall, and it's a 1-out double for the Toronto Blue Jays left fielder as he coasts to his 24th of the season. Spencer Horwitz up next, and he's also going to shop at the exact same gap outlet that the guy above him, Dalton Varsho, did, and that's going to be the first run for the Blue Jays. 3-1 now. And Fire Rice's tenure as an Athletic has not gotten off to the best start. Now only 3-1 in favor of the A's. And Mundo Sosa up next. Skies this one to center field. And the former Baltimore Oriole will be recorded for the second out of the 7th inning. No tag on the throw as well. So I need a base hit from Aurelvis Martinez, the rookie, but he looks at the slider high. He knows it. Blue Jays do get one, so they cut into the lead, where Nick Anderson will now take the mound. The former Kansas City Royal having a 3.75 ERA season. First batter he'll face will be Tyler Soderstrom, who perfectly lines one through the left side of the infield for a leadoff base hit. Eddie Rosario up next with a 1-2. He chops this one to first. That's going to be a 3-6-3 double play. Eliminate the base runners. Quickly 2 down for Brent Rooker. Single and a run on the day. And the first pitch, though, he drills to left. Anderson hangs a curveball, and Rooker takes advantage. That one got out of here in a hurry, and the A's get the run right back. A solo homer for Rooker, his 24th of the season, putting up very good power numbers this year. Like to see it at a Rooker. And the A's extend the lead back to 3. It's now 4-1. Nick Allen up next. Nick versus Nick. Another hanging curveball, but not the same success earlier. That'll actually end the 8th. Ryan Thompson into the bottom half of the inning. Another former Diamondback we've acquired this season. He is now the setup man with the A's. First batter he faces Addison Barger, and he gets him to ground out to Geloff to begin the frame. How about Arjuan Nimala up next? First pitch to him, and he's going to fly out to right. Thompson quickly has 2 down now, trying to make it 3 against Springer, and he does just that. A nice 1-2-3 inning here from Ryan Thompson will get through. Top of the 9th, Zach Pop actually came in for the Blue Jays. I accidentally skipped through his little player card, so we won't spend too much time in the inning. Ryan Noda would fly out to go 1-2-3, which will send us into the bottom half, where we'll have a 3-run lead for All-Star closer Tony Santillan, who's really stepped up into this role. Named to the All-Star game this year. That was a little surprising. But good for him. He's been one of the best closers in the AL when given a chance, and he starts here by getting Rafael Lantigua to fly out. Danny Jansen up next, grounder to first, Noda over to his right, and the Gold Glover with a nice spinning throw. Quickly 2 down, the game comes down to Dalton Varsho, as with the 2-2, he swings through a fastball. And that'll do it in this one. The A's take game 1, 4-1. It's been a while since we've actually watched the A's pick up a victory, so a nice change of pace for our squad. Their 46th win of the season as they take 1 of 3 here in Toronto. Sears gets a nice win this time, completes it through 6 innings. Santillan shuts the door. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Athletics. Blue Jays only 1 run on 4 hits, as you say. Kikuchi gets the loss for them, and player of the game goes to J.P. Sears. A couple of pretty decent starts out of him. Hopefully he can put a nice end to his season in the final month and a half. Game 2, we lose, though, 3-2, as Tony Santillan actually blows this game. He gives up the earned run in the 9th. That allows this game to go in extras and allow Toronto to win. And then Game 3, though, we win 5-4. So we do take 2 of 3 against Toronto. Jacob Wilson with 2 doubles, as well as Ruiz with 3 RBIs. Really helped us out. So we take 2 of 3 as now we head back home to face the 43-77 Detroit Tigers, a team I'm very excited to face here at Sutter Health Park. The Tigers, 43-77, have not had a good year, so they sold at the deadline, and they were obviously the biggest sellers out of any team in Major League Baseball, completely revamping their lineup and their pitching staff. And we'll get a look at them today as we come in 47-74. On the mound for the A's will be Paul Blackburn, who stuck through the trade deadline with the team. ERA now down to 6.21. We need to see some better starts out of him. Max Clark, the center fielder, will lead off for the Tigers, and with a full count pitch, he will hit this one up the middle for a leadoff single for Detroit. Got to bring up Jordan Lawler, one of the newest players for the Tigers. He grounds over to first, Noda bobbles it, and he won't be able to beat the runner out. So Lawler, one of the fastest players in the league. That'll be an E3, so both players safe. Got to bring up Dominic Smith, the newest St. Louis Cardinal acquisition, up next, and he will ace this one up the middle. And Dominic Smith, named to an All-Star game this year, will bring in the first run. It's 1-0 Tigers. Still nobody out with runners on the corners. Akil Baddoo up next, laces one over to Veach at short, where it will be caught. We'll finally take a look at this new-looking Detroit Tigers team. We've seen their first 4 batters. Next up, we'll see Tyler Whitaker, followed by Alexander Canairo, who has not had a good season. Kyle Dater is the first baseman, Jeremiah Jackson is second, and then Edgar Cairo behind the plate. As we'll get a full glance at them. Here is Tyler Whitaker, the former Houston Astro, playing third base. He rolls this one over to third. Wilson trying to go around the diamond, and he does. So the Tigers do get one. I feel like they could have been worse. Josiah Gray graces the mound for the Tigers, acquired before the season began from the Nationals, and they gave up a lot for him. Jace Jung, the reigning AL Rookie of the Year, and Tyler Holton went to Washington. It hasn't really worked out for Detroit. Zach Geloff up first, grounds over to short, and we'll take a look at the Athletics lineup today. Not many changes. You did see Veach, though. He is playing short today. Other than that, usual starters for the Athletics, including Brent Rooker, who now leads the Athletics with his 24 home runs on the season. Tyler Soderstrom now next in the 2-hole. As the 1-1 pitch, he gets a slider nice in center, and he's going to pull this one into the right center gap. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a right-handed pitcher on the mound. And Will Soderstrom, he welcomes that since he has himself a one-out double. How about Eddie Rosario in the third spot? 1-2 to him. And he gets a high slider but can't connect. Strike 3, second out of the inning, brings up Brent Rooker. And with a full count, he draws a walk. So now 2 on for the A's. A big spot now for Robbie Martin. Average down to 267 on the season, and he can't lay off the high cutter. And the A's get nothing in the first. Go bottom 3 now. Brent Rooker with 2 down gets a cutter, and he hits this one high. Somewhat deep to left field at the track at the wall, and it actually clears the fence. I did not think that one would leave, but it does. Brent Rooker muscles out his team-leading 25th home run of the season, and he ties the game right up. I thought that would just be a routine fly to left, but it kept going. And just like that, it's now tied at 1 apiece. Bottom 4 now, Ryan Noda leading off for the A's, and he looks at strike 3. Sinker is there, and he just stares at it, as that's Gray's 6K of the day. Bringing up Jacob Wilson up to the 8-hole today. He's also struck out so far. 3-1 pitch to him, and he draws a walk this time. Cutter close, doesn't get the call, and Gray walks his second batter of the game. Bringing up Richie Veach, who's hitting .368 on the season, 7 for 19. I'd like to see some of that continue. And it will do that here. A slider chopped up the middle for a base hit. Now the A's threatening with 2 on at the top of the lineup. Geloff now up next. 1-2 pitch to him, and he can't pull the trigger on a slider. He strikes out, and that will bring up Tyler Soderstrom up next, and he will walk on 4 straight pitches. So Gray loads the bases off his second walk of the inning. A big spot here for Eddie Rosario. Hitless on the day with a chance to break this game wide open. 3-1 pitch to him, and Gray misses low, so Josiah Gray walks in a batter. Gives the A's a free lead. As Wilson crosses the plate, Brent Rooker up next with a nice slider to hit, but he grounds out too short. The A's do push across 1, and they take their first lead of the ballgame. Top 5, 1 down for Edgar Cairo, who launches this one deep to right center field, and there's no doubt about this one. A solo home run for Edgar Cairo, the former Pittsburgh Pirate, with his first of the season. Cairo's a pretty interesting catching prospect who was acquired at the deadline in a trade that sent Zach McKinstry over to Pittsburgh, and the Tigers get benefits here. Tied us up at 2 apiece as Joey Wentz comes in later, a lefty on the mound for Detroit as he graces the 5th inning with 2 down, and a lefty and Noda up, and Wentz easily takes care of business, striking him out. The 6th inning, Joel Payampas will then come as it looks like they just brought in Wentz for the lefty-lefty specialist. Now they're bringing the former Milwaukee Brewer for his 31st appearance. He starts against Jacob Wilson, who gets a nice slider to hit, but he's well out in front. Easy play over and out in the foul territory for Tyler Whitaker. Richie Veach now with a 1-1, saws off his bat, as nice play by the first baseman in Daytrus to throw him out. Quickly 2 down now for Zach Geloff, hitless on the day, and it looks like he will stay that way. It's a nice ball out to right field, then it goes actually off the wall. I thought they would get there, and they don't. And Geloff's actually rounding second, and a bad throw. He easily gets into third. That's a 2-out triple for Zach Geloff, and just like that, the A is threatening to score a run this inning. I thought it was going to be over. Soderstrom with a chance to bring him in, but he swings through a slider, and we blow that opportunity. Mason Miller now comes in for the A's, pitched a perfect 100 innings on the season. He's been an innings eater in the middle of the games. He gets the 7th inning here with Alexander Canairo and gets the former Chicago Cub to ground out to begin. We'll bring up the first baseman, Kyle Datris, up next, and he can't connect on a 100-mile-an-hour heater. So quickly 2 down for Jeremiah Jackson, and he'll pop this one up to right field. Miller is underneath it. Well, Jackson flies out to Rooker, who's underneath it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Miller. Speaking of Miller, Shelby Miller of the Detroit Tigers comes in, the former St. Louis Cardinal, who was actually with Detroit back in 2023. Back for his second stint, and he begins this ball game by striking out Eddie. Great slider on the corner. Going to bring up Brent Rooker, who tied the game earlier. Actually gave us the lead with the solo homer. And he gets the second base hit of the ball game, pulling a slider into left field for a 1-out single. Robbie Martin, 1 for 3 on the day, gets a nice slider to hit, but just cannot muscle enough power behind it. It's a fly out to left field. It will not tag Rooker. So now 2 down now here for Esteury Ruiz. First pitch to him, and he will get a nice fastball. Hits it well out to left, but it quickly dies out. And that will end at the 7th inning. So going to the 8th now, J.P. Fire Ison, his ERA up to 4.27. Has not been good since we've acquired him, as he has 2 down, 1 on for Dominic Smith, but he gets the job done here. Gets his 1 out to end the 8th. Bottom 8, Jason Foley will come in for Detroit. He is actually the closer for the Tigers. It's not a closed situation just yet, but might as well send your best pitcher out into the 8th inning. And he starts the 8th inning by walking Ryan Noda. So the go-ahead runner now on first. And they'll actually pinch run for Noda. Daryl Hernandez will step in, get some more speed on the base pass. As Jacob Wilson with a chance to do something, but he can't connect on the slider. That's strike 3. Richie Veach with a single back in the 4th now steps to the plate. First pitch to him, and he will ground this one over to first. And despite the pinch runner, nothing can beat that throw. That's a 1-2-3 inning off the double play. Hernandez will stay in at third, and Wilson will be replaced by Jordan Diaz at first base before Joe Barlow graces the mound for the Athletics. His 68th appearance of the season. Been one of our better relievers thus far. He comes in with 1 out in the 9th, but he plunks Tyler Whitaker on an 0-2. He just can't do that. Free base runner now for Alex Canario, who hits this one to right field, and he will fly out for the 2nd out of the inning. I'm going to bring up the first baseman, Kyle Datris, up next. And the first pitch, he rips to left field, and this one will get over the head of Rosario off the wall, and that is trouble. Whitaker will round third. He will be sent home, and the Tigers have the lead 3-2 off the RBI double with 2 down. Jeremiah Jackson up next will then chop this one over to Geloff. That will end the 9th. We'll go in now down by 1. Foley got us to 2 outs with Eddie Rosario at the plate, and the game rides on his shoulders, and it looks like he will end it as he flies out to right center, and that will do it for this one. Detroit wins Game 1 of this 4-game stretch by a final score of 3-2. As you got to see the first look at the Tigers in the post-Riley Green, Casey Mize, Zach McKinstry, and Tariq Skubal era, all dealt at the deadline. And the Tigers, this should be a fun team to watch. And they're only 44-77 this year, but I'd love to see what this team does next season as they walk off with Game 1 victory against us. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for your A's. You never like when your runs are the same as your errors. Edgar Cairo gets player of the game thanks to his solo homer back in the 5th. That tied this ball game up, which allowed a lead to take place later. Game 2, we win this one 4-3 in 10 innings as Zach Geloff had a game-winning double to send the crowd home happy. So we tie it back up at 1 apiece before going into Game 3, and the Athletics win that one as well 6-1. Ruiz hits his 7th homer of the season, and Rooker hits his 26th. Continue to show nice power numbers this week. That's his 3rd home run in a week. And then we win Game 4 5-4 as Soderstrom hit a game-winning sac fly in the 10th, and we take 3 of 4 against the Tigers as we go 5-2 this episode. A nice successful stint for the Athletics. Before next week, we host the Cincinnati Reds and the good Minnesota Twins team. Why did I say Minnesota Cubs? As we'll get through the month of August, starting to trek our way through year number 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.